Hello, friends. This is Worm. No, actually, it's Cowboy Worm. And today, I wanted to talk about the best PvE subclass currently in the game. I don't know what it is. I don't have opinions on what it is. I got some ideas, I guess, of what it might be, right? But I wanted to talk about this because I think that we've been talking so much about PvP stuff lately. I want to kind of shift the focus. And I wanted to talk about PvE and where I think some of the stronger subclasses are in PvE and what makes them strong, and potentially what is the strongest, because I think we have a couple of contenders for what is the best PvE subclass in the game. We are only going to be referring to PvE, so if I say PvP, please understand I mean PvE. Sorry, I mean PvE, because I miscombobulate my words. Whatever. Anyways, starting off, I mean, we got to get some of the obvious absolute bangers out of the way. Arc Warlock is a massive power player. Strand Titan, again, same thing. Massive power player. And it's tough on Hunter. I would argue that maybe Strand Hunter is pretty decent. Void Hunter also pretty decent. Those are like the three for the main, like the three classes. But you could make arguments for potentially every class in the game. But I wanted to talk about, I guess, which one is the strongest. Like, I guess just general purpose, blah blah blah, right? Because I don't know. Let's talk about it. Starting off, we've got to talk Strand Titan here, because Strand Titan is insane, right? Strand Titan is by far one of the best subclasses in the game that we've had in a long time. I mean, Strand Titan, especially when paired with Abiant Leap, is literally ad control central. And you can do a build, which I've showcased the build on my channel before, but you can do a build where you've got ad clear, you've got boss damage, you've got basically everything you could possibly want in your kit, right? Like, it's insanely good. Like, it can literally deal with any situation. Ads, yep. Boss damage, yep. Control, the control of the situation. Strand Titan literally has it all. Actually, I take back what I said. I think right now, Strand Titan is the strongest subclass in the game. Okay, I take back everything I said about I don't know which one's strongest. Strand Titan, by far the strongest, okay? Because like it has everything. Like the anti-champion capabilities with Strand and Suspend specifically is nutty. Of course, Suspend will instantly stagger unstoppable champions, but also it lifts them up in the air. So barrier champions, they can't put up their shield when they're in the air. So effectively, even though it doesn't technically say, oh, they're staggered, blah blah, barrier champions are staggered by Suspend specifically. Strand Titan is the best by far at suspending. Okay. But also overload champions, like in my opinion, one of the biggest like difficulties I have with champions is specifically with overload champions, right? Overload champions, they rush you down, they teleport all over the place. Just the ability to lock them in place is insanely good. Okay, to lock an overload minotaur that's rushing you down in something like the Glassway Strike is nutty good. The ability to lock down a captain that teleports freaking everywhere, and you don't even get an opportunity to like kill it because it's so freaking all over the place. Strand Titan has got you covered. And the uptime, oh my gosh, the uptime on Suspend is insane with Strand Titan. Okay, like literally, you can roll with Abiant Leap. That suspends literally anything in a room, like in an area. I wouldn't even say a room, it's an area. Anything in an area is instantly suspended, right? Suspended, you've got a shackle grenade, you've got thread of generation, which will give you more grenade energy. Thread of I don't remember the one that it is, but whenever you get suspend kills, it grants class ability energy. Strand Titan through and through the best. Not only that, but it has survivability built into the kit with Into the Fray, the aspect Into the Fray, which gives you woven mail when you destroy a tangle, right? And it gives you faster class ability regeneration as well. But with Abiant Leap, you get woven mail anytime you suspend an enemy. You literally can have 100% uptime on woven mail, and woven mail in PvE is nothing to play with. Like it is like, what is it, 60% damage reduction, which is insane, right? Definitely no surprise that it's going to get nerfed in the future. But until that day, I think Strand Titan will take the cake. Like, Strand Warlock, it's cool. The super is pretty high damage. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say the super is like, low damage or bad or anything, but I definitely think that it's not the best. The Threadling build is cool, very, very cool. I very much enjoy Threadling builds, but again, not as powerful. Strand Hunter, kind of the same thing. Strand Hunter is like a budget Strand Titan, if you ask me. Definitely more about acrobatics and movement and stuff like that. So Strand Hunter definitely not nearly as strong. And of course, we know that Stasis shipped to us way stronger at its initial launch than Strand ever has, right? Strand is actually getting a buff in the future. I'm not gonna say next season because I don't know if it's gonna be next season, but Strand is gonna get a buff at some point in the future, right? They're gonna reduce the tangle cooldown from 15 to 12 seconds, which is very appropriate if you ask me. Anyways, regardless of that, what else? Let's see here. I mean, Strand Titan, like I said, it just takes the cake. But I want to talk about Arc Warlock for a minute too, because I think Arc Warlock, I would almost argue that Arc Warlock is the better ad control subclass, or the best, sorry, not the better, the best ad control subclass in the game, right? I mean, you have all kinds of jolt, you have all kinds of what are those arc things coming back to you, those ionic traces coming back to you, right? And they're coming back to you, they're feeding you abilities. You can use storm grenade, pulse grenade, chain grenade, whatever grenades you want. They're all going to do it for you, with certain builds and stuff. And in this Nightfall here, this Warlock that's with me, he's using the Fallen Sunstar, which is a fantastic helm headpiece, whatever. I forget, a hood. There you go. That's what it's called for Warlocks. A fantastic headpiece, though, for Warlock for getting those abilities back. Like, it is Ability Spam Simulator 3000. And the abilities that come with Arc are insane, right? All the ionic traces, all the jolting that can be done, like, it is ad clear central. Okay, so Arc Warlock, definitely no joke. And I would almost argue that Arc Warlock is better than Strand Titan when it comes to ad clear, because Strand Titan, it can lock them down, but you still have to have a solid build to kill them. Arc Warlock, like, you don't have to have good weapons. Like, you can put on, double specials for boss damage, and the subclass will carry you through whatever activity you're doing in terms of ad clear. So Arc Warlock, definitely nothing to be, nothing to scoff at, nothing to be messed with. And of course, Arc Warlock has some really strong exotics. Fallen Sunstar, is the first one that comes to mind. Fallen Sunstar is insanely good. But it's also got Getaway Artist. Getaway Artist, again, you don't need a primary weapon if you have Getaway Artist. Like, it's that freaking good. All those kills you get are giving you ionic traces. Those ionic traces are refilling your grenade. That grenade is hitting harder. It is shooting faster. Like, it is literally your primary weapon, which is nutty good, right? It's insane. Okay, like, Arc Warlock for ad clear is insane. Now, of course, where Arc Warlock falls short is in the boss damage, and I would, to a degree, say the survivability aspect, right? Because, of course, outside of your Healing Rift, if you're using it and not Empowered Rift, you don't have any built-in healing. It's not like Arc Titan where you can, with Knockout, you punch an enemy and you start health regeneration. Not like that. So I think where it's lacking is in the survivability department. Not only that, but I think it's also lacking the boss damage. Like, Chaos Reach is a good super, but the grenades aren't that great. The Arc Soul's not that great against boss damage. Like, it's not super fantastic. All of your boss damage is going to have to come from your actual, like, your build, right? Your weapons, not your build, your weapons, which isn't necessarily a problem. But if we're talking subclass specifics here, that's where that's the difference between, Arc Warlock and Strand Titan. Like, Strand Titan has got boss DPS. That super puts out insane DPS numbers, and Chaos Reach, albeit very good now since they buffed it, does not ascend to quite the level, that Strand Titan has. In my opinion, of course, I have not done any extensive testing, so if you have damage testing numbers, put a link to a video and I'll watch it and I'll make another video apologizing. At any rate, but yeah, Arc Warlock, definitely one of the better tiers, I guess, of subclass in the game. One of the top tier subclasses. And then we move on, of course, to Void Hunter, and I think Void Hunter is, has got to take the cake in terms of survivability, and especially in Grandmaster Nightfalls. I do all of my Grandmaster Nightfalls on my Void Hunter because the kit literally allows you to disappear from enemies whenever you want. Okay, like the invisibility kit that you get, and it's not just like 1 or 2 builds. Like there are so many builds that can keep you invisible, that can keep you, you know, off the radar, a team medic, so to speak. Omnioculus, Gerfalcon's Hauberk, Graviton Forfeit. In PvE, all of these work together to keep you invisible, to keep you alive. Omnioculus obviously being one of the best because it gives you that damage resistance while you're invisible, which is insane. The second you dodge and go invisible, you get, you know, that, 50% damage resistance on top of whatever your resilience is. Like, I mean, I've survived, you know, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. You know, I've survived hits from in the Glasswave, for example. Glasswave with Void Burn and the boss deal and Void damage, stuff like that. I've survived hits from that while invisible. I've survived, you know, in Arc Burn situations like this freaking Nightfall that we're doing this week. You know, I've survived a blast from the boss in Grandmaster as a Void Hunter because I have Omnioculus on. So in terms of survivability, Void Hunter, in my opinion, takes the absolute cake. Like, yes, other classes have survivability. You know, Solar Warlock, like the build you're actually seeing here, great survivability. You know, the ability to heal your teammates, stuff like that, but nowhere near as good as Void Hunter. You know, not only that, but the fragment that allows you to activate Devour when you pick up an Orb of Light or a Void Breach is, again, that's equally as nutty because you turn invisible with Omnioculus. You've got, you know, an orb laying over there. Go pick it up. You're back to full health. Like the survivability is unmatched for Void Hunter in PvE, and I love Void Hunter. I would, you know, I'm sitting here saying Strand Titan is the best all-rounder. Me personally, I would much rather take Void Hunter into a Grandmaster or Master level content because I feel more comfortable. I feel safer. Of course, I also know the build very well, so that's, you know, a big plus, but yeah, I think Void Hunter would definitely take the cake in terms of the best Hunter PvE subclass in the game. Like I said, Arc Warlock is the best Warlock PvE subclass in the game, in my opinion. Again, the reason why I'm choosing these is because they have a little bit of everything. You know, ad clear, boss damage, survivability, like all of these, they have potential. I think Strand Titan does it the absolute best through its just kit alone, and then you put weapons on top of it, and then it goes out the window bonkers, you know. That's why I said Strand Titan is the best, but you know, Arc Warlock, Void Hunter, very, very strong builds. Like anytime I'm doing a Grandmaster and I do LFG and I see somebody using Arc Warlock, I'm not even concerned. You know, see a Void Hunter, not concerned. Strand Titan, not at all concerned. I'm not like, oh, like I don't know about their build, you know, like I see it and I'm like, okay, like it's good, you know. And that's, I don't know, man, that's my thoughts on the best PvE subclasses. I want to go through here. You could make an argument for Stasis Warlock as well. I'm going to do an honorable mention here for Stasis Warlock, but Stasis Warlock has to have a very particular build, and that's the Osmiomancy Gloves build. It's very good. Don't get me wrong, it's very good, but I think that it's not nearly as good, especially now with the nerf to stasis shards and stuff. It's not as good as it used to be, but it doesn't compare to Arc Warlock. I think Arc Warlock really does take the cake for Warlock in terms of PvE subclasses. You know, you could slap on a build Fallen Sunstar, get you any weapon with Volt Shot. You know, Aikilo's SMG, very good. The Dark Decider, very good. Not the best, but again, a very good option. Any of these weapons, you're gonna do fantastic. You know, you put on Fallen Sunstar, ability spam for days, you know, weeks if you would, like ability spam all day long. You're golden, you know. And then whatever heavy you want at that point, you know, literally whatever heavy you want will work. Obviously, probably like a what is it, explosive or not explosive, like Hothead, fantastic option. Thunderlord, fantastic option, you know. But yeah, and then Void Hunter for its, oh my god, this, sorry, my computer's lagged, give it a second. But Void Hunter, in terms of the Void Hunter and the Void Hunter's kit, like it's you've got so many different exotics to pair with the survivability. I said Omnioculus is the best. Like I said, Graviton Forfeit, fantastic. The Gear Falcon's Hauberk, fantastic. You know, you have many options as Void Hunter. I think in terms of Void Hunter, that is probably where you have the most like leeway in terms of exotics you can use, because the subclass does like 90% of the heavy lifting. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on the best PvE subclasses. I want to hear your opinions though. What are the best PvE subclasses? Obviously, tons and tons of y'all think of things that I don't even think about, and I hope I let it. If you think of something that I don't think about, I try to let you know in the comments that this is a great idea, stuff like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think the best subclasses are in PvE specifically, and yeah. That's it for me. Like the video if, of course, you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And do me a favor. Watch the video you see on the end screen here, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you will like it. And that's it for me. I'll catch you on the next one.